Hey friends, how you doing? Welcome back to Real Estate Sales TV. Excited to have you here as we go through step number 4 of the 7 steps of success. And this one is the game changer because we're going to talk about taking massive action, and we're going to look at parts of your day that you may not have noticed are not as fulfilled as they should be. So grab a notepad and a pen and get ready to learn. Welcome back to this, what I think is going to be a challenging video, but it's definitely going to be one that will help you grow. This is the second part of our 4-part series, and where we cover the 7 steps to success, not only in your real estate basis, but for those of you that are in the title business, the mortgage business, the gym business, whatever business you're in. I really believe that these 7 steps could be a fundamental part of your success. There are 7 steps that when you all have them together, undeniable abundance and blessings must come your way. So what I'd like to do with you before we get into step number 4, I'd like to make a little side note. If you did not see our first video, we covered the first 3 steps to success. I'm going to do a little bit of a review, but if I were you, I would pause this video right now. I would go to youtube.com/real estate sales TV, and I would look for that video first, because we cover some pretty important stuff there that has gotten some major feedback from all over the world. Secondly, I wanted to say thank you, because that video, we've just launched this channel just shy of 3 weeks ago or so, and that video has close to 600 views. So I just wanted to say thank you. It's definitely struck a chord, and I think you guys can all tell that I'm truly here to help, because I've been getting tons of messages through our Facebook page, Real Estate Sales TV, and where a lot of you have been noticing some things about yourself that were not present or that you were not aware of prior to watching that video. So let's quickly do a review to share with you some basic points as to what we learned in video number 1 of the 7 steps to success, okay? So step number 1, we talked about the importance of deciding to live by faith versus fear. Listen, if you're a business owner and you want to be successful, the first component to success in any business is living by faith. You can't live by fear. And the problem is that some of us are conditioned to live by fear, and we don't even know it. I got message after message from people from all over the world. Some of you, yes, here in the US, but a couple of you in Canada, some people in Mexico, some people in Peru, all over the place, where people were saying, you know what, as a real estate professional, I didn't even realize this, but I live by fear. And so I would ask, well, give me an example. And people finally were able to pinpoint it. Every time I go to pick up my phone, I act in fear. Every time I, try to wake up in the morning, I act by fear because I decide to, not get to the office in time. Every time I decide to try to role play with someone, I'm a little cautious of what they may think of me, so I act in fear. Every time I'm having a conversation and the prospect gives me an objection, I act in fear and I let the sale slide away from me. And I think for a lot of people, step number 1 really triggered something. So I want to challenge you. If you are living by faith, then you are feeling the abundance. You are feeling the uncontrollable and undeniable certainty that you are going to achieve the goals that you have set for you. However, if you're living by fear, I just want to challenge you with a little subpoint here. Look at the root of the fear. And most importantly, look at essentially what the fear thought is and detach yourself from it, okay? And kind of hold it up in your hand and grab that thought from your mind and hold it up and ask yourself, okay, is that me or is that just some crazy thought? Because that's what I tend to do when I'm thinking these crazy things that are, kind of trying to slow me down. I tend to kind of try to detach myself from the actual thought, okay? We're going to be doing a lot more studying and a lot more helping on this, so please continue to come back. But if you haven't watched video number 1, go watch video number 1, okay? Step number 2, you got to decide what you want. The beauty and the curse in our business, and I say curse and I'll explain to you what I mean by that, is that, in our business, we essentially, when you think about it, we earn a lot of money. And we earn some pretty substantial sums of money by selling one house. Now that is great, but it also could be a curse. And here's why. Society as a whole has been trained to just get by. You know this as well as I do. I have an amazing family, and I have amazing friends, and I have amazing people around me. But the fact of the matter is that most of the people that I've grown up with and I've been surrounded with have not tried to necessarily break the mold. And I think a lot of it is because, check this out, look at step number 1. I think a lot of us in our society live by fear. We live by fear of failure. We live in fear of what other people will think of us, so forth and so on. So step number 2 is you have to decide what you want. And friends, it's gotta be bigger than just making a deal. I don't know what that is for you, but some of you want to increase your net worth. Some of you would like to become millionaires. Others would like to become millionaires so that you can give it away. Some of you like to contribute, and maybe you want to buy a school bus for your local church, or some of you want to create a charity. Some of you want to build homes for the poor. Some of you want to buy nice things. Some of you want to get a new car. Some of you may want to pay off debt. I don't know what it is. But there's got to be something big in your life that is pulling you, that is causing you to take that extra step, that is causing you to go the extra mile, that is causing you to go above and beyond what the average real estate professional does. And you will only do that is if you decide what you want. Step number 3, we spoke about setting a plan, putting a plan in action with the end in sight. And what I mean by end in sight is, I remember when I was selling real estate, all of my plans were, well, essentially I always started in 5-year blocks. So decide what you want your life to look like 5 years from now. How many transactions? How much income? How many lives are you going to impact? How many customers and clients are you going to help, right? And you decide that, and then you break it down step by step or year by year based off of what it is that you want to accomplish 5 years from now. Again, we go into more detail into video 1. I want to go ahead and actually get started with step number 4, which is take massive inspired action. Now listen to me. I didn't say action. I didn't say take action. I didn't say take massive action. I said take massive inspired action. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now that the only way to take massive, inspired, undeniable, uncontrollable, nobody is stopping me kind of action is to be very clear with what you want and to be living in faith. And that's why these steps are I've created them the way that I created them, and that's why I wanted to take my time to do these videos the way I did, because that's reality, guys. If you want to break the mold, if you want to break through, if you want to bless your family unlike anyone you've ever seen, if you want to have an amazing life and an amazing business, it's going to take massive inspired action. Think about this for a second. Look around your office and look around your community, and you will see undeniably that the people performing at peak levels are taking massive inspired action. Go ahead and test it. And you'll know right now if you are or you aren't taking massive inspired action. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Right now, 1 being, you know what, I'm not really taking that much action. And 10 being, yeah, Danny, I got this. As a matter of fact, you know what, I kind of already know what you're going to say because that's how much massive inspired action I'm taking, okay? And give yourself a number. And if you're realistic, I would venture to say that some of you watching this video might be in between a 5 and a 7. And I think that if you get clear with what you want, that might help. But today what I want to do is I want to show you a very clear example to show you what massive inspired action looks like. I'm going to do it in a very simple way, and I'm going to have you compare it to what you see all around yourself, okay? So do me a favor, grab a piece of paper or notepad, and grab a pen or a pencil. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to kind of draw 4 quadrants the way you see these 4 quadrants on your screen right now, okay? The quadrant on the top is going to be a little bit smaller, and so is the quadrant on the bottom. The 2 in the middle are going to be pretty much the same size, okay? And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a little test. And that test, we're going to rate ourselves on a scale of 1 to 10. So for the 4 quadrants, the perfect score is going to be 40, right? Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you some information on each quadrant, and I'd like you to be honest with yourself. And I'd like you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 based off of the action you're taking during that quadrant, all right? Okay, here we go. Quadrant number 1, or section number 1, is from 6 in the morning to 9 in the morning. Let's talk about this for a second. I remember as a real estate agent, I was a Remaxed agent, actually. I was one of the top agents in my office. And I remember very vividly that I'd be in the office by 7 a.m., at the latest 7:30. And I would get in my office and I would start role playing and practicing my skills. I would prepare my expired for sale by owners and withdrawn listings. I would be on the phones by 8:15 at the latest. I would not step out of my office until about 10:30 when I took my first break, right? And it's funny because when I got to the office, there was nobody there. But when I got out of my office at 10:30 for my first break, everybody kind of started showing up. So the question I have for you is the following. Be honest. What time are you in the office? And are you starting your day in a powerful fashion? And are you working to improve yourself, improve your goals, and get one step closer to your goals between the hours of 6 and 9 a.m.? Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. If you're a 1, it's because you can admit and say, yeah, Danny, no, I'm not. If you're a 10, it's because you could say, you know what, Danny, that's right. I feel you, my friend. I'm there in the morning. I'm the first one there, that sort of thing. Here comes the second section. Section number 2. Rate yourself again on a scale of 1 to 10 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Okay? Meaning if you're in the office at 9 a.m. and you're working consistently through 12 o'clock and you are focused on generating business, you deserve a 10. However, if you get to the office by 9:30, 10 o'clock, you grab some coffee, you check some email, you jump on Facebook, and then, oh, it's time for lunch, and you leave for lunch at 12 o'clock, and you're really not accomplishing much, give yourself a 1. You got to be honest here, guys, okay? Section number 3, you've guessed it, is from 12 to 5, okay? 12 to 5 is a good time. 9 to 12 is a good time to do your prospecting and your lead generation. 12 to 5 is a great time for you to do some follow-up, do some lead follow-up, work on your to-do activities, and actually set appointments and go on appointments. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. You know what 1 means and you know what 10 means. And last but not least, section number 4, from 5 to 9. Wait a minute, Danny. You mean people actually work through 5 to 9? Yes. Yes, they do. Okay, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 from 5 to 9 o'clock. Guys, I got to be honest with you. I made this video because I saw one of our agents in my office, a gentleman by the name of Nick Cardenas, and he was here at 7:30 at night, and he was prospecting and going at it. And it was like a huge aha moment for me. I saw myself in him. I remembered back to when I first started the business. And guys, I'll tell you, I was up at 4:30 in the morning, working out at 5 o'clock. I would get to the office by 6:45, 7 o'clock, 7:15 the latest. I was on the phones, and at night, at 5 o'clock, when everyone else would go home, that's when my day began, everybody. That's when I made the difference. That's what helped me sell 30 homes my first year. That's what helped me sell 35 homes my second year. And that's what helped me sell 150 homes by the time I was 27. One word, sacrifice. Sacrifice. The hours of 9 to 5, my friends, that is the basic hours of work. That's what everybody does. That's what anybody can do. You're different. You want something more for your life. You're trying to build something special. And in order to build anything special, it takes massive, inspired action, which also is called sacrifice. Anybody can work from 9 to 5, my friends, and anybody can do the basics. But if you really want to break through, and if you really want to have an abundant business, then that's what it's going to take. It's going to take showing up a little bit earlier and showing up a little bit later. And I know some of you are already saying, well, Danny, wait a minute. I've got a family. You know, so do I, guys. I've got 2 kids. I've got a beautiful wife. This is where there's seasons for everything. If you can honestly say, and I know some of you have been in this business 5 to 7 years and you've just been kind of coasting through, then you really haven't started the business. I've got agents that join our company that have been in the business for 10 years, and I think that the day they start at my office is the first day that they start work, because they have not been exposed to anything unless they start working here. Well, if you can be honest and you can say to yourself that you've been coasting, then you might need to go talk to your spouse, and you might need to go talk to your kids. And I'm actually going to change this view because I need you to look at me here. You might need to talk to your spouse. You might need to talk to your kids, and you might need to look at them in the eyes and say, honey, kids, for the next 90 days or for the next 365 days or for however long it is, we're going to need to make a sacrifice, because I want to improve our lives. I want to have a better lifestyle. I want to create a bigger business, and that's going to take some sacrifice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and sacrifice for the next, call it 90 days, guys. And I'm going to go and work my tail off. And at the end of 90 days, and this is where you make a little bold statement, I will have accomplished this. And once I have accomplished this, I'm going to give everyone in our family a reward, which will be this, whatever the case may be. Hopefully this was a big eye-opener for you. Hopefully you saw that step number 4 is very critical. And I know it's scary, guys, but the reality is that you cannot break through. No, you will never break through unless you decide to take massive, inspired, undeniable, uncontrollable, nobody's getting in my way, the unknown means I'm one step closer to the next yes, action. That's what it takes to succeed, guys. Hopefully you were inspired today. Hopefully you saw some areas where you could use a little bit of adjusting. And hopefully some of you are going to have some pretty serious conversations like the one I had with my wife 3 years ago when we were dead broke. We had nothing. And I had to just commit for 90 days. And those 90 days changed our lives forever. As always, my friends, if you have not already done so, subscribe to Real Estate Sales TV here on YouTube. Get ready for next week, because I'm going to go right into steps number 5, 6, and 7. As always, I hope you are thinking big, you're acting big, and most importantly, you're expecting big things to come into your life. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.